Hi, I'm Holly, and in this video I'll show you a soap I made recently using the spin swirl technique. I'll list the recipe at the end of the video, and you'll find more links and information in the description box below. I wanted to use a pink color palette for this soap, using 3 shades that ranged from light to dark. I colored the entire soap a light pink by creating a weak indigo oil infusion using some leftover indigo powder from one of my previous infusions, and then substituting all of the olive oil in my recipe with the infused olive oil. I've gone over this process in detail in a couple of my previous videos, and I'll list them below in case you're interested. For the darkest color, I mixed some red iron oxide with a little olive oil and blended until it was smooth. To help create the really light color, I mixed some water-soluble titanium dioxide with warm distilled water. Soap making involves the use of sodium hydroxide, which can burn your skin and permanently damage your eyes, so be sure to learn and follow lye safe handling procedures during the entire soap making process. When mixing the lye, don't stand directly over the container or breathe any of the fumes, and always work in a well-ventilated area away from children and pets. I blended until barely reaching an emulsion, and then continued to stir while dividing the soap into 3 equal parts of 2½ cups each. For the dark reddish colored soap, I added 1/4 teaspoon of the red oxide. For the lightest colored soap, I added 1/2 teaspoon titanium dioxide per cup of soap. And for the medium pink color, I just left the soap plain since it turns a pretty pink color after going through saponification. I continued to blend and stir until all 3 colors were at a light trace. For this pour, I just alternated colors in 2 corners of my slab mold. Then you'll see that I only spin the mold a few times. I was just going for wavy lines and trying to avoid the colors becoming too muddy in the corners. Since I was making a cold process soap, I left the type of lye set to sodium hydroxide, or NaOH. My recipe oil weight was 1200 grams. My lye concentration was set to 35%, which means my lye solution consisted of 35% sodium hydroxide and 65% distilled water. I set the superfat to 6%, and my fragrance usage rate was 45 grams per kilogram. Once you have everything entered, you just select to calculate the recipe, then to view or print it. SoapCalc will give you a really nice listing of all of your ingredients, including the amount of sodium hydroxide required to saponify your oils. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found something useful here to help you in your soap making.